hit the record.
Yes.
So we are on the couch with the O Coach. How you feeling, Tone?
I am feeling
How you feeling,
great. Thanks for having me, guys. It's a whole vibe in
whole
here.
vibe up in
Y'all
here.
don't even know.
And then y'all saw a little behind the scenes. I didn't want that, but we are right. We are
It's
right.
real, raw, and uncut.
Let's take a little toast.
You know.
Toast to Empowerment Studio on the couch with the O Coach. And thank you guys for viewing live.
Love, light, and healing as always.
So let's get started. And I want to thank you for sitting on the couch with the O Coach. Sitting on the
Thank
couch
you for
with the
having me.
O Coach. Hey. So introduce yourself, my sister.
Okay, well, hello everyone. My name is Tonemotivates, Motivation for the Nation, and I am a cognitive behavior therapist and wellness coach, as well as a writer, host, interviewer, and podcaster. So I'm just out here doing it all. I do a little bit of modeling, foot modeling, voice acting, just really out there exploring the waters and just being as authentic and true to myself as I possibly can.
Yes.
Period.
Yes.
Period.
Yes. And the period.
You know?
So what I want to start off with, now we've had several conversations and I love in your bio where it says mindset coach. Touch on it, sis.
Yes. So a lot of the times we walk around with this mask on. We're nice to everybody. People take advantage of us, all kinds of stuff. But we can't be nice to ourselves. We talk nice to other people, but we don't talk nice to ourselves. And a lot of people don't realize that our thoughts sometimes is what determines our outcomes, you know, as far as reality. So I used to travel to Philly for work every day. It was an hour and a half there, an hour and a half back. So I used to do all kinds of things to keep myself busy and then keep myself up on the way back because I'm tired. And I just really took that time for it to be self-improvement.
Okay.
And I started to realize that I talk to myself negatively a lot. So when I noticed that, I just started looking into it, and I've always been that friend that people could, you know, shoulder to cry on. I'm always, you know, supportive, helping this friend, helping that friend.
Need a tissue,
right,
everybody.
Right, but I looked into it, and I'm like, you know what? I want to be a motivational coach. You know what I mean? So I started off with helping people build intrinsic motivation to get extrinsic results. And ironically, my first client was a Black male.
Wow.
He had anger management issues, and it was affecting all the relationships around him, from his family to his kids to his love life to work.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And he came to me, and we did the sessions and all of that stuff. And fast forward years later, he has been in a successful, committed relationship. His relationship with his family and his kids is better, and he has a new job and is excelling at it. You know, so literally all I did was give him resources and tools just to be able to be conscious of thinking about, all right, this person's acting like an ass. That don't have nothing to do with me. Yeah. You know what I mean? The way that I react is has something to do with me. You know what I mean? So you can't stop people from being stupid. True. You know what I mean? But you can stop yourself from reacting to the stupidity. You know what I mean? So if you always have a growth mindset and you're not stuck with just being stuck at the problem, you know, typically you can get through it. And I've always been a solutions person. Okay. You know, I might soak for a minute or two, but after that, I'm thinking, all right, how I'm going to get through this? How I'm going to move through this? Because you can. Everybody had a situation in one point in their life or another where they didn't even see how they was going to get out of it. They was going to get through it. And now look at you.
Now look at
you. Look at you. You know what I mean? So it's all about that. You know, we got one life to live.
One life.
You know, and this time is going to pass regardless. So it's like, why not take these baby steps to, you know, complete those goals and just live your best life? Because the time going to pass anyway.
It is.
You know what I mean? If you keep putting off on school, a whole year could have passed when you could have had that degree instead of still talking about how you're going to go back to school.
I hate when people stay stuck in that, like you said, stay stuck and they can't move past because they say they can't.
Right.
You know,
right.
How do you help people that stay that stuck and won't let go of, you know, their mishaps when they were, you know, like younger or growing up, or maybe they was in a marriage or a relationship, long-term relationship? How do you try to work with people that get out of that stuck mode?
Well, that's where the cognitive behavior therapy comes in at,
Okay.
because we all act based upon the experiences that we had in life.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So when I realized that, it was like, okay, I had mommy and daddy issues at one point. I forgave my mommy and daddy years ago, and it wasn't for them, it was for myself.
Gotcha.
I love them through and through, and anything that they taught me or did not teach me molded me into the person that I am today. But there are still people that is 60 years old and still mad at what their mom and daddy did to them. You can't help what might have happened in your childhood, but you can help your adulthood.
This is true.
You can make sure that you're a product and an example to make sure that you're not that type of parent, and that you are being a better person, in turn being a better parent, all that stuff. Just figuring out what's right for you, what's good for you. And a lot of people don't want to do that because it takes sitting down and being by yourself and quiet. But we rather have all these distractions around us. We run around behind Tom, Dick, and Harry. We drinking and smoking, doing all this extra stuff instead of sitting down and figuring out what the problem is. Nobody said it was easy.
Nobody.
It is
It's
not easy whatsoever.
Not at all.
Whatsoever. But it's like at the end of the day, when you lay down in bed at night, it don't matter if you got a significant other or not, but you're sitting there in silence by yourself. Are you happy with your life?
Go back to silence. Silence, people. Silence.
Yeah. And everybody,
Sometimes you got to sit still.
and everybody want to be spiritual nowadays and all that. I'm a very spiritual person. I look at it like God is my quarterback, and then my lost loved ones, ancestors, spirit guides, they're the rest of the team. And I grew up in the church. I went to school in the church. My grandmama cleaned the church, all that. And when I realized that, it was a weight lifted off of my shoulders because I walked around with that guilt. That's another thing. I walked around with guilt. This is wrong. It ain't going to stop me from doing it. I'm still going to drink it. But in the back of my head, you're sinning. You're going to hell. You know what I mean?
But God ain't finished with you yet.
Right. And
He
God
ain't
has a
finished yet.
sense of humor.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So just having grace on myself, but also holding myself accountable. You said you was going to do it, go do it. And a lot of people try to project instead of reflect. Figure out what's wrong with your life. But I got blinders on. I ain't judging nobody. I ain't saying nothing about nobody else because my shit stinks too.
We all got stuff.
But it's all about, being aware of wanting to be better, wanting to be more,
Amen.
whatever that is
Preach
to
that.
you. And I mean, I come from a healthcare field or whatever. I recently left it after 10 years. And one of the main things was, what do you want? You know what I mean? What is it that you want? A lot of people don't know
What they want.
period. You know what I mean? So don't be mad at me because I know what I want and I'm running. I realize that I irritate a lot of motherfuckers. And I ain't paying attention to who I'm irritating. But once they come to me, sit your ass down. You don't never sit still. That means because I'm running circles around you, boo. You know what I mean? But that don't have nothing to do with nobody else. I'm following my path.
Amen.
Figure out what your path is. Because typically when you're not on path or not aligned, then all kinds of crap is going on around you to push you to that path. You know what I mean? So don't watch me watch TV. You know what I mean? Now, you can watch me on TV because I'll be there soon. But you know what I mean? It's all about that. I'm worried about myself. I'm not worried about what everybody else is doing around me. Now, I'll help you. I'll support you. You know what I mean? Another thing is when I stop moving up a step, and then it's okay, come on, everybody come to this step with me, and then I'm going to go another step, and everybody come to this step with me. Nah, I'm going to go up this flight. When I get there, I'm going to have people that can throw those ladders down for me, baby.
Amen.
And if you want to use it, you can. But when I stop as a distraction trying to help everybody else and really poured into Tonemotivates, there ain't nothing I'm doing business-wise that's not aligned with what I want to do.
It's amazing. Your bio is deep. She's a writer. She's
Just
a
everything.
motivationer.
And I always was this way. I always wrote. I always did, poems and stuff like that. I wrote for, I was a ghostwriter for up-and-coming record labels before I had my son.
Wow.
I fell off when I had him. I was like, oh, my God, my life ended. I'm pregnant. You know what I mean? But, again, it came right back around to fruition. So I'm not going to sit here and think if I would have did this back then, where would I be now? I'm thinking now I came back to this. Where I'm going to be. I know where I could go. I'm a visionary. I see it. I smell it. I can feel it. But I'm going to work towards it too. I can't say, I want to do all this stuff and don't. I was planting these seeds last month. Ain't no New Year's resolution. I had 2 events yesterday, and I got this today. Today my Saturday. I'm about to have me a time after this. You know what I mean?
Yes,
But
I
I
love
genuinely, I'm happy because I'm doing everything that I
that
want to
you
do. And if I don't want to do it, at least I had the experience to know that I don't.
and
You
you
know?
living your best life. You
Yes.
living your best truth.
And that's it.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep. So let's move a little forward. And I know you have some degrees. You were working with adults, and now you're working with children.
Yes.
Talk about that. Let's talk about it.
Well, I have I have a bachelor's in healthcare management, and I decided to leave my career after 10 years because I didn't feel satisfied through and through.
Okay.
And I am going to go back to get my nursing diploma and all that. Bare minimum, I can help my family and friends with that. I'm a nurturer, you know what I mean? So that is something I want under my belt. Whether I rather ever work in it or not, I'm going to have that nursing degree. But I also want to pay cash. No more student loan debt, But when I left, I'm like, okay, well, how can I not even monetize, but how can I make as much impact as possible?
Okay.
And I noticed that a lot of my friends is toxic. And I was very toxic at one point too, and I worked through it, and I still got some healing to do and some growth. It ain't a race, it's a marathon, But I started substitute teaching, and I was working with kindergartners, and at that age, you are the most authentic around 5, 6, 7 years old, and then you take the rest of your life trying to get back to that authenticity. You know what I mean? So it's like, all right, a couple of my friends, family, they had smaller kids because my son's 17, but they have kids like grade
17 where?
Thank you, boo.
They
be like, your son. I'm like, thank you. But their kids had problems. You know what I mean? So I said, okay, let me start these little Zooms. So I started. Let me stop calling it little because ain't nothing little about it.
No.
So I started these Zooms, and they were called "Kids Have Feelings Too." And I'll use my nephew as an example. I call him Ross, Ray of Sunshine. He the lightest one in our family. So why am I so light? I'm like, you just white chocolate, honey. Don't play with it. But he used to get anxiety about math. It upset him that he didn't he wasn't well. He didn't do good in math. Okay. And I'm like, well, do you raise your hand? Don't sit there and be quiet. Because I did. I got math phobia still to this day. Because instead of raising my hand, I would just be quiet. Okay. So the lesson would continue. And now I'm lost because I ain't know what to do 3 lessons ago. Okay. You know what I mean? So I just gave him all the tools that he needed. I had a boys session. Then I have a girls session. And within several weeks, they got their report cards. And my baby was on honor roll.
All sucky now.
Honor roll.
It
Don't play with it.
Zeros to heroes.
Right. So besides that, I did the 50 years of hip hop anniversary back to school thing around September, and we gave away school supplies. It was like 50 artists. We was right on a baseball field, gave gifts to the kids and all of that. And I was just thinking, like, instead of the adults, you know, instead of us trying to fix ourselves now as far as that toxicity and stuff like that, if I could get to the kids first, we might be able to skip a whole generation of toxicity. You know what I mean? So I said, okay, well, let me pour into these babies, you know, and it would just, everything came into fruition. So I started doing all of that. I'm the kindergarten substitute teacher. We out there, we rocking out. I love my school. We a family. You feel me?
What you're doing.
And they asked me to be the social emotional learning teacher.
Wow.
So when I say aligned, and a girl is self-employed, you know what I mean?
Give it up to the black sister that's self-employed.
Yeah, but I work for that. You know, I work, and I wasn't scared. Somebody out there, and you know, at one point I dimmed my light a little bit, you know, because I was burning some folks. You know, I was burning some folks. Okay. But at the end of the day, it ain't for you if I'm burning you. Turn around, please. Go that way. I'm here for the people that I warm. Okay. You know, that light is warmth. And that's what I'm here for. You know, this is genuinely my path. You know, my grandmother gave me a scripture years ago, Philippians 4:13. God will perfect that which concerneth me. You know, and my grandma, you special. I'm like, girl, bye. You just saying that because I'm your oldest granddaughter. You know what I mean? But through and through, like, I've always been this way. Whether we live or whatever, we talking like this regular, schmegula degula. You know what I mean? Like, that's just how I am. So I'm simply just spreading that awareness and letting people know it's okay to be quirky. It's okay to be boisterous. It's okay to be a weirdo. It's okay to be a unicorn. Those are all positive connotations to me. I take pride in that. Yes. You know what I mean? Because I'm a leader. I want to stick out, baby. The only time I fit in is when I need to or want to, I should say.
I love the strength of this black woman sitting on this couch.
You know what I mean?
She's speaking all her power. All her power and all her truth.
Yes.
So, oh, relationship stuff. What's going on with relationship, girl? Spill the tea. What's going on? Because you know the old coach all would know about your little
Yes,
love
yes.
life.
So, I am single.
Okay.
I am dating. I don't even know if that's called because I'm a little
Single guys
I'm
out
a little
on the
old
gram and the
school,
pages.
so I feel like you need to ask me if I am, ask me if I want to go steady and stuff like that. But I am concentrated, and my attention is on one person. We're definitely building. He's a Gemini. But I don't know,
Those
for some reason
Geminis.
I'm an air sign, you know what I mean? So I get it in that notion, but I don't really have to tell him what I'm thinking. He's thinking the same thing.
Wow.
He's affectionate. He's telling me how he feel, like he loving on me. And, I genuinely just appreciate that. So even though I don't know where it's going, I'm open to it.
Okay.
Simply
I
open
like
to
that.
it. So
I
I'll
like
say
that. I like that. And how is it being a mom? And a mom, an entrepreneur mom that said, I'm leaving my 9 to 5 and I'm out here. I'm out here.
First and foremost, I've broken so many generational curses. You know what I mean? And it's only right that my son do the same. So, simply put, his father was incarcerated by his age.
Wow.
I was already sexually active, you know what I mean? And he broke all of those curses. And he was classified when he was younger.
Okay.
My baby went through it with me, you know what I mean? But as a parent, you grow more than your kids grow. You know what I mean? So I realized when my life was chaotic, his was too. It didn't matter if he knew what was going on or not, it's the energy.
Gotcha.
So when I finally got us settled for the last time, I just started to see him just grow and develop and settle with me. You know what I mean? So I wanted to prepare him, in any way that I can, because he was the type of kid that you have to teach him out the box, outside of the box. He can't just sit in the classroom and that's it.
And
so
to pause you for a second, you're a black mom raising a black man in today's society.
Period. So I put this boy, I signed him up for Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Okay.
He recently met Solomon Thomas from the Jets for
Wow,
Christmas.
that was
and
beautiful.
He was asked back, they're gonna have like a little an interview on a newscast. I don't know which one, I ain't gonna tell all his business, but and it might air in the Super Bowl. But Solomon Thomas really took to him because he's 6 foot, size 14 shoe, and he's not an athlete.
Wow.
Like, he plays soccer, flag football, whatever. He dibbled and dabbled, but he's not into that. But he's a gamer. Him and one of his friends in Florida been creating a manga. I hope I'm saying it right. He hate when I say it wrong. For like 4 or 5 years now, literally waiting till the 18 just to drop it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? He's a gamer. He wears the cloaks, the whole outfit. Like, he is an anime freak. But I put him in Votech. So he's been in Votech for carpentry, his whole little high school career, whatever like that. So if that's what he wants to do when he graduates, he's going to have his little van, Jakai's carpentry services, or whatever the case may be, with his little LLC.
I know
you know
that's
what
right.
I mean? And take off. Do what you have to do. So it's just literally showing him that you could go out there, you could get what you want, you can do what you want. And I always try to instill in him, work hard now so you can chill later.
Amen.
Do what you got to do to do what you want to do.
Amen.
You know what I mean? And that's all that it's about. So he looks at it like, oh God, here she goes again. He doesn't, but the way that he talks about me, like, it's all worth it. Like, oh, my mom does this, she does that, I put him in modeling classes to build his self-confidence. He is an introvert. He don't want you to look at him. I'm like, boy, you are tall, black, and handsome. They gonna look regardless. They can't help but look. So instead of trying to hide, stand in that.
Stand tall.
Stand in that. So when he wants to be sociable, when he on that game, baby, now that's my baby personality. That's how I know he my son. But out and about, it's just like, even the pictures, it's like I don't want to take this picture. I don't want, he's so like morbid. When he reminds me of a male Daria. I don't know if you remember the Daria show on MTV. It was a cartoon, and she was so morbid, like very crude humor and all. That's him.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But I am so proud of him, and all that I do is for him. When I can't get up,
you're doing. You're building him to be an entrepreneur. Like, why? That's what I love. That you're building him to be an entrepreneur. Like, if we taught our children this in this day and age, there's still some time to get them where they need to be. Then look where you are.
Yeah. Yeah,
right?
and I had like I remember my grandmother having like we always was outside doing the flea markets. You know what I mean? If we had something to give away, we was gonna make some change. I remember her being in Irvington and having a small storefront.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like she always dibbled and dabbled in different things. That's
You
how I'm
went from
definitely
Nana right there.
yes,
That's
like
right.
you know what I mean? Blanche Franklin. And then fun fact about me, both of my grandmothers are named after the Golden Girls, Blanche and
What?
Dorothy. You know what I mean? So when I say different, baby, and I'm a junior, you know what I mean? My mom and I, both of our names are Tonya.
Oh,
You know what
okay.
I mean? So when I say that, and I was a preemie and all that, like when I say that
Wow.
I came out the womb fighting.
Ready.
You feel me? And I'm just resilient. That doesn't mean that I always want to be that way. I can't wait to sit fully in my feminine energy and just relax and be barefoot and pregnant in my house with my office doing
Love it.
podcasts and whatever from wherever in America I want to
Love
be.
it.
You know what I mean? Why not?
Why not?
Why not?
Why not?
Why? I'm always that bud. As soon as my friend like Tone, everything don't have a bud.
Anything after but is really bullshit.
I mean, I don't necessarily think that because, like, my friends would call me like, "Girl, I'm sick of this boy." Da, da, da. And I'll be like, "But," and they'd be like, "All right, I didn't look at it from that." So it could be
Okay,
bullshit,
okay.
but I'm
But-
always but again, I'm always devil's advocate.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's
That's
like
why you're the mindset coach.
yes, because I could put myself in your shoes. You know what I mean? I'm not the type of person that you come to me, you talking to me, and I'm like, "Girl, well, I told you no."
I don't like
I'm
the girls
going
I
to
told
give you my opinion, and that's it. Because guess what, baby? You're going to give me your opinion. I promise you I'm going to leave here and not follow it. I'm still going to do whatever the hell it is that I want to do, but I appreciate you. You know what I mean? For we could talk, we could have that one-on-one or whatever like that, but I'm going to do what I want to do. And that's how I can sleep at night. Because whether things turned out right for me or whatever, I followed my heart. You know what I mean? So whatever. I don't have no losses. I have lessons.
I love it.
You know what I mean? So
Love
that's
it, love it,
that's
love it.
all.
Let me see what else I wanted to ask you. How do you prioritize your own mental well-being?
So, a perfect example. Since I'm a teacher now, I'm off weekends, holidays, all that.
Loved
right?
it. You
So,
off tomorrow?
Yes.
Lucky you.
And I was excited about winter break,
Mm.
and I said, okay, winter break. I'm a break.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a break meditating. I'm a break with my crystals.
Mm.
I'm a break with my journaling.
Mm.
I'm a break with basically all the self-care stuff. And it wasn't like, oh, I don't want to do it. It was, to me, it was a reset, right? One of the worst damn things I could have did. Because when I tell you that first week of January, baby, it beat my ass. I mean,
Wow.
beat me up.
Wow.
I'm in my head. All the stuff that I talk about not doing is me. And I'm like, come on, Tonemotivates. Like, get it together. Get it together. But I feel like I lowered my vibration by not being protected by all of my self-care stuff. You know what I mean? And that's what people don't understand. Self-esteem, self-care, it's for self. So if you can't sit with yourself, you know what I mean? Everybody say, oh, meditation, da, 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 da. People don't even know how to meditate.
They don't.
I didn't know how to meditate for a while. Like, okay, we know what meditating is per se, but how do you do it? It's simply concentrating on your breathing. That's it. Soon as your mind wander, go back to your breathing. I'm like,
That's all it is.
all it is. All it is. You know what I mean? And you literally can change how you feel by doing that. I think it's something funny. Something one of my badass nieces and nephews done did, or, you know, there's something that's literally going to make me laugh, because typically I'm going to think about more funny things after that. And I'm silly as hell too. If you're serious, I aggravate the hell out of you.
People
I will
sometimes.
act like,
I'm
why you play
so
so much?
funny?
You a play fit. I can't help it. I'm very childlike in that way. You know, I it takes more muscles to frown than to smile.
That's
You know what I mean? And I find something to smile with. Like, I think that's my best feature. Everybody
it.
always
You
tell me,
do
you
have a beautiful smile. You do.
I'm like, I don't want to get, I want to get veneers or something, because I can't see myself not having this smile. You know what I mean? That's probably the main thing. I'm going to save up for that, you know? But when I'm not smiling, I got resting bitch face. So I'll be walking down the street, guys be like, damn, Ma, I feel bad for whoever made you. But I'm like, I'm not mad. Meanwhile, I done won the lottery. It's my birthday. I'm about to go to Vegas. And I'm in my head. I'm listening to my music. But as soon as I open up or I talk, it's like,
a breath
oh
of
my
fresh air, and you
God.
like your energy is like popping.
Yes. And why not? You never know who needs that. You never know what people are going through. And that's the main thing.
You never know.
Yeah.
So we're getting ready to wrap this up. I want to thank you for being on the couch with the
You're
O Coach.
welcome.
That's
It's
right.
always a
Now I
pleasure.
need you to let the viewers know and the listeners know how they can like, share, and subscribe, where they can find you, what a handle they can find you
Okay.
on so they can follow you. But
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok
what's all your names?
at Tonemotivates. And in addition to that, you can find me at Shades of Tone _podcast on Instagram and Shades of Tone podcast on Facebook. So I'm out here. You could just Google me, boo. You go to tonemotivates.com too. Don't play with it. Don't play with it.
Play with it. You know how they say, Google me.
Period.
Google
You know
me.
what I mean? Sometimes you gotta honk that horn just a little bit.
Yo.
Look, if I one of the realest things I heard recently, Dame Dash. We always know Dame Dash always been cocky. He is one of the cockiest. But he was like, bump humility. Bump being humble. If I don't tell myself great, I'm not waiting for you to tell me I'm great.
No,
I'm great.
No.
And I'm like, I'm going to stand on that thing. Yeah,
That's
go
it.
ahead.
Go
Yes,
ahead, Zane.
all
Go,
day.
Zane.
As always, it's always love. But I'm going to do what I got to do for me. And I hope that you're going to do what you got to do for you.
Amen. I love it. And thank you so much, Tone.
You're welcome.
Tone. I got to keep calling her Tone.
Look.
See, I'm going to call her TM.
Yeah, look, they call
Too
me
much.
Tony, Tone. Yes, I like that. They used to call me Tony, Tone, Tone Low, Tone get up on ya. One of my friends called me Bone. I'm like, why do you call me that? You just want to be opposite. But anything that rhymes with Tone. But my name is Tonya.
Okay.
And a lot of people call me Tanya because that's how it's spelled. But it has a little, hyphen over it or whatever. And I just sick of people saying my name wrong. So my friends growing up, they called me Tone.
Gotcha.
So it just stuck. Like Tone motivates. Motivation for the nation, baby.
And I love it. And I thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Can't wait to have you back. 'Cause
You are